The only one question that I really feel gets asked a lot is, why did you leave your previous company?
Looking for growth. In my wallet. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Welcome to Coffee Shop. I'm your host, Peter, and welcome to another episode of the KopiBros Show presented by the Chit Podcast Network. And for those of you that are tuning in by YouTube or any sort of podcasting platform, hi again. Thank you so much for giving us a try, for giving us a listen. We're just a Singaporean duo that don't want to go for a
Job interview.
And once again, I'm joined by the best interview in the Chit Chatter. I'm joined by Mr. Brandon. Yo, Brandon, how are you doing?
I'm doing not too bad.
Not too bad. Is it better than the previous few episodes where you were...
Yeah, better, much.
At the house?
Yeah, much better. Finally, turn around for 2024.
Yeah. Your year has officially started.
This is where it starts. Finally.
Actually, you know, like, speaking of 2024, our previous episode, we talked about the predictions for 2024, right? And then we did say that we predicted Joseph Schooling will not go to the Olympics. You remember? We said that.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know that he was in my primary school? Did I ever tell you this?
No.
He's like younger than me by about a few years. So if I'm not wrong, when I was primary 3 or primary 4, right, he was like primary 1. Yeah. And then when I was in ACS, right, they had this thing that was like a swim meet. I don't know if your school has this type of stuff, does it?
No, I don't think so. No such thing as swim meet. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly it's track meets, right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
track meets or like soccer competitions, those kind, yeah.
And then they really have like 50 meters breaststroke, like all of the different strokes lah. And it's quite extensive and quite detailed and stuff like that. Now during this swim meet, right, they also asked like the upper primary 3, primary 4, right, you have to go and help out with the like selling of stuff or like cleaning up the area lah. Okay, so if you're not participating, right, you're doing like that sort of auxiliary stuff, right? I could hear over the intercom, right, as the race was going on, because I didn't get to see, right? They're saying like, oh, and once again, Joseph Schooling wins the 100 meters for the don't want, okay? So it's like throughout the whole day, right? All I heard was like, oh, this Joseph Schooling is like winning every single thing. But I don't know who is this person. Towards the end, right, I got a break. Then they allow us to go to the swim area to go and see like who is this person. So I was very curious, so I went to go and see. And then, right, it was like the last race or like the last 2 races, right? It was like, I think freestyle or whatever lah. I saw like there was a very, very lean, skinny kid. Okay? And then I was like, oh, this guy, he looks like a swimmer, man. I think this is the Joseph Schooling. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then next to him, right, was this like short, chubby, fat kid, okay? Like this like really chubby, fat, small kid, no? And then I was like, oh, this guy is going to be like, you know, barbecue chickens, yeah, getting eaten for the... Barbecue chicken. Beep. This fat ass kid, he jumped in the water. What? Like on top of I was like, oh shit, the fat kid is the Joseph Schooling, yeah. Yes, yeah, literally schooling everybody.
But it's actually true because the photos of Joseph Schooling with Michael Phelps, right? He was a chubby kid.
Or it's like you really see him, right? You will not think that he's a swimmer, you know. You just think he's like some chubby like kid that like to eat ice cream. Like, if you looked at our thumbnail, you will know that this week we're going to be talking about job interviews, and the reason why is because, interestingly enough, we had this come out in the latest draft episode, which is our most anxious situations. Brandon, you also mentioned in that draft that there were a ton of weird questions that got asked to you in the interview, correct?
Yeah, I've experienced hell of a lot of weird questions.
Would you care to elaborate on some of the weird questions that you got?
I actually gotten one, right, where it says they asked me, what's your favorite cartoon character? No, sorry, not what's your favorite. Which cartoon character, right, feels like represents you? Guess what was my answer?
Bro, the first person I think of is Johnny Bravo. Obviously, that's not what you answer lah.
I don't know why, because I think that for the job interview it was more like a fun company kind. Yeah, it was
Okay.
a more like a event based company. So I thought I gave a very funny answer. Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Not Patrick.
I told them Patrick Star is a lot more deeper than you think he is. But I told them that. But I thought like for such a stupid answer, right, I thought I answered quite well. Like, in the end, he's at the butt of every joke, so he makes fun of himself, so that everyone and he brings joy to the people around him. For myself, I feel like I really don't mind being the butt of every joke. I don't mind taking more things, right, so that people can enjoy themselves or people can relax. Then, even after I finished answering the question, right, they were like, "Oh, Patrick Star." This is the first I heard this.
Yeah. I mean, like, you definitely leave a memorable.
Yeah. That was what I was thinking, going for. That's what I was going for.
My parents, like, they refuse to let me watch SpongeBob specifically for Patrick. There was one episode, the caveman episode, right? They're like, oh, no more.
No more. Patrick, what do you want from which career patty do you want?
The theme of this episode specifically was job interviews. For this week's episode, right, because we're going to be diving into this topic, we're going to be talking about some interesting sort of processes that a job interview has. Specifically, first off, we're going to talk about like what are the most common key questions that get asked in job interviews. And then you and I, Brendan, we're going to see like how we'll react to those those questions. And then they'll give us like model answers of what's good and what's bad. And then after that, speaking of weird questions, you and I will ask each other 2 weird questions each. And then we will have to try our best to be in the thought process of being in the interview and how we're going to like genuinely respond. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, sounds fun. All right, bro. Let's put on our shirt and tie. Let's get right into the interview. All right, now we're going to be discussing some of the keys to a successful interview, some of the questions that always get asked during the interview process. But before we start that, Brennan, I just want to ask you, did you ever do an online interview before?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, because I noticed that it's quite a more common occurrence nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the virtual option is always there. Which one do you prefer?
Face-to-face.
Yeah, same, bro. I also still prefer face-to-face. It's just different, right? Do you know what I mean?
Correct. And the fact that sometimes you make mistakes that you shouldn't make online. Correct. Because I always find it very weird that because you are looking into the camera, right? But at the same time you want to look at the person's face. So you're just like, firstly the eye contact is really very off for me. And I feel like they're unable to relate. It's very. I feel like both sides, right, it's very easily distracted, like for yourself and the other person. Yeah.
There's always like the idea of like when he asked me a question, I answer, right? You cannot get a read on whether they like it or not because you're judging based on the like the oh or like the ah. But if like you can't tell by the body language, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, no, and I went for one interview, right, where the person was just all the way just slouched on the chair, then just like listening like this, because like there were a few interviewers, and it's like it's very distracting to see someone just like not care at your interview.
But in some case, right, that guy might be the most.
yeah. Then you're just like, oh.
I mean, like apart from acing the interview questions, I think clear and obvious things are like you have to dress well. You know what I mean? Like you also have to prepare and read up on the company, etc. But I think for this episode, right, we're just going to focus specifically on the questions because you can dress well, but if you questions, then what's the point? Yeah, what's the point of dressing up, lah? So I looked this up at careersfuture.gov.sg, which is like of course, our Singapore platform to go and encourage people to get jobs and also to advise people on how they can do better in interviews and stuff like that. There are 5 of the most common interview questions that you must prepare for. Now, Brendan, let's see if we agree if these are like the most asked questions, and then specifically, how would you answer them? Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so easy to go. All right. The number 1 most asked question, which I feel is actually true, this is something that almost every interviewer I've been asked, is number 1, tell me about yourself. All right. Now, Brandon, if I were to say, tell me about yourself, what will you respond?
I honestly feel right for this, right, it really depends on what kind of interview you're going for.
Oh, okay.
Like which company, what role are you applying? So like I always feel that this is a part where you can sort of like push a portion of yourself, whether be it you want to appear more like you are the kind that likes to lead, or the kind that because it's two very different roles, like a leadership role, or you're very good like support. So I always share, for example, like 31 this year, then actually like a very brief overview of like my career would be that, like from like let's say finance. Right after army, I knew what I wanted, so I went into insurance because I felt that I could make an impact onto people's lives. And I felt after my first few, I just wanted to try it out. But after my first few appointments with like my a customer and friends and family, then I realized like what a big impact I could have on like other people's life. This is the roles that I'm applying for. So that at the same time I can share that something about me is just that I'm very outgoing. And one of the reasons why I chose like sales role is because I love to speak to people. Because previously I studied accountancy, as you can see from my resume, which honestly I felt that if most people look at me and most people talk to me, they clearly are just puzzled like what my choice. Yeah. So it's like, wow. Then after that, like from there, like then I just thought a bit like currently what am I doing?
The model answer that they gave, right, is along those lines, lah. Okay, so they said specifically, right, you should tell them about your work and academic history. I mean, like, which is what you did, you weaved it in quite a nice way to say that I previously did accounting, and then also like these are like what I did in school. They advise, right, that you should give like examples of stuff outside of work, but it should be in relation to the job. Specifically, Brenda, right? What do you think is what should you not say?
It really depends, but I feel like some people always they get very confused, right? It's just that afterwards they start talking like, a little bit of myself is just like I like to play games, or like yeah. Who cares? Badminton is my favorite sport. like hey, this isn't a speed dating, because like it's true, because like some people are very used to going out with friends or dates that or networking events where when you say tell me about yourself, is a lot of times they ask for your hobbies or like, what do you do on your free time. Yeah.
But it's, in this context, right, they're telling you about how it relates to the job. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what you want to hear and how you can like link it back lah. Don't talk like nonsensical information. Like, don't say like, oh, I like to collect whips. Like, oh, blindfolds, chains. These are my thing. I love it. Talk about yourself. The key advice is always to just link it back to the job. The next question that they always ask is, what is your strength and what is your weakness? We always joke and say like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. Or like, I don't know when to stop working. Stuff like that. For Brandon, what will you answer for strength and weakness?
I feel like especially for this job interview, again, of course you have to cater it to the specific role. Cannot be like, you cannot be I'm applying for a sales role. Then honestly, I'm very good at Excel, but honestly, it's like, okay, yes, it's a good skill, but like, and then like my greatest strength is my greatest strength is like, it's like make a very good cup of coffee. Huh?
I think some things that they always like, right, is critical thinking and also like maybe communication skills. It's like how well you can communicate with other people. Yeah, these are things that I think they translate to almost every sort of career path.
Correct.
Yeah. And then what would you not say for weakness? For your
weakness. I get very distracted easily, which I feel like a lot of people, they do. This is really their biggest weakness, but you really don't have to say it. Yeah, you don't have to say it.
Yeah, let them find out while you're working. Okay, so the model answer that they gave, right, is that it's good for you to be self-aware when they ask you what's your weakness. So it's like you're able to identify that you're weak at a certain area. But they also say like, do not say that you are like suckish at a certain thing. Like you have to say that you're bad at something, like maybe mildly, but don't say like I'm like really damn horrible at this lah. And then they also say, don't say things, right, for the strength that will make you come off as haolian or boastful.
People tend to say that I'm the best at
And I don't know, just when I thought people just tend to like come towards me.
Yeah.
I'm gravity. Bro, relax, bro. Relax. And then also, right, they said for the weakness, do not say something that is like really not something they want to hear in the role that you're applying for, right? So let's say, for instance, you're applying for a role that is like a manager. Okay, so you got like manage a bunch of people. Say, oh, my biggest weakness is that I'm not good at multitasking.
A role that I have to meet a lot of deadlines. I can't handle pressure well. Oh no.
Okay, next up, the question that I think it does get questioned a lot is like, what attracted you to this role? I think that there's a bit of like overlap with some other questions. Like for instance, they will ask like, why are you interested in this role, or what attracted you to the company? So it's like either or lah. And then I think that this is a test for them to see how well you know about the company.
Yeah, no, whether you did, and some of them is, and sometimes it's whether you did your research. Yeah,
whether you bother to do your research. That's
correct.
the main thing.
I feel like this is the point where sometimes it has to be a bit cringe, but you have to actually really do your research and actually actually I love the company because like it's been around, like it's one of like a household brand, or like so it's been here for the past 30-40 years, and like I really want to. I feel like this is a place that I can really grow.
Okay, so like the model answer that they gave, right, is that you should ask, you should talk about the working culture. You should talk about some of the programs that they've done. Maybe if they've like reached out to the community, some of those community stuff that they've done. I think it would be good if you can maybe highlight like the corporate values or like the interests that they have. I think because in almost every website that you research, right, they always will include like these are the core values of the company or this, right? What will you not say?
Oh, the money.
The number one thing that they highlighted, right, is that do not talk about how much money you're going to be earning.
Yeah.
So what attracted you to this company? Oh, the Benjamins, baby.
the pay. I really have to say. Although you have to understand, it's really true, but people don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I got a lot of chobus at lunch is free here, right?
The next question that they always ask is, you touched on this previously. You touched on this in the previous question. What are your goals for the next 5 years? I think that is something that they do ask.
It depends whether you're going for a leadership route or you want to choose. Because I really feel that this is a point where you shouldn't lie that much. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel like this one is like if you're going for leadership route, then you just say, "Oh, I see myself honest." I've actually heard people say, and I think I said it before. It's like, where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? Or sometimes it's 10 years or in the future, right? I want to be sitting where you are sitting.
Wow, with the amount of cheese, you can go and make a
Because it's quite, especially if you know that this person actually is a very good mentor, right? They say, I want to be where you are at, and that's the reason why I look for you, because I felt that you're a leader that can really mentor me to be the best I can be. Wow,
the sauce, the amount of sauce you put in All right, curious, right? Would you you said like a leadership role and also like more of a serving role, right? Or like a support role. Do you think that is a good thing to say that you want to learn? Because it's something that I always feel very conflicted about. It's like, if I have to learn, that means that they also have to teach me a lot of things. Then they might think, correct. I have to teach you stuff that I rather not. Do you know what I mean? That's like a fresh grad sort of like, you know what I mean? There's something you can say as a fresh grad, but maybe not necessarily when you're many years later.
Correct. No, so that's the reason why I feel that, especially it depends on which role you are at. Like if you're applying for a senior role and you say this, I don't feel it's that well. But if you're applying for like a very begin, like a starting position, I feel sometimes people appreciate honesty. Where I say I'm not too sure yet whether I want to go for the leadership route or for just be the best way I can be. But I just know that wherever I am, I just want to be doing my best.
Yeah. Okay. Honest. Try to say it like from make it look honest lah.
Yeah. Make it look honest.
They also said like, do not say that you're like your main goal is to be like, I want to be rich, bitch, or something.
I just want to stay in the condo. I don't care where.
All right. And the last question, right, that I think that they always tend to ask, I do feel is like, do you have any questions for me?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. So now, in the most of the interviews that we've done, right, when they ask this question, what do you normally say? Curious.
Actually, I made a lot of mistakes. Like early on when you're beginning, right, you will feel that actually you don't need to ask so much because maybe they will find you very cocky, or
Yes.
yes, because you feel very pricey. You're just like, oh, actually, like, who am I to ask these people questions? But
Yeah,
actually,
I don't want
right.
to take too much of your time.
Correct. Yeah, correct. The idea that I don't want to seem too like over. Yeah, but actually, honestly, why would I need to ask you a question? Yeah, but actually, honestly, this is the part where I feel that interviewers will assess, right, how hungry you are for the role, or like how smart you are in crafting your questions.
Apparently, right, what this careers future they say, right, is that if you say you don't have any questions, right, it reflects that you sort of like do not have any interest to learn more about the company. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not interested to like ask more because the thing is, people, there are so many things actually you like you're unsure of because a lot of times you apply for is just one page, like just like, oh, what is your
Yeah.
role? Yeah. So you actually, a lot of times you don't even know what is the role, and like if you got no questions, it makes it seem like you don't really know what you're doing here.
Yes, it's like you apply at random, like you apply a few jobs, and it's like this is one of the few jobs that you're applying for. They can
Yeah.
tell. Yeah. So I think that is a good like chance for you to really ask about the company. What will your role be if I were to join this company
Yeah.
in relation to me, like, or
Correct. Or like, what are you what is one thing you're expecting from the person that you're
Yeah.
looking, or like, I always feel that what's one value that you're looking for to add into your team, especially if you're joining a team, right? Then you just say like, what do you feel like, what is the something that I can really bring to the table? So it's like the people are like, oh wow, this person really wants to like bring something to the into the team,
Yeah, bring
and want
something
to
to
add
my
something
team.
yeah.
Yeah, they also say, right, this careers future, that you should specifically ask about maybe like how does the company define success, company culture, and then they also said, right, this is something that I personally find is a bit touchy, is that this is the opportunity for you to ask about salary expectations. But I personally feel that if it's on the website already, right, I will not most times I will not ask about the salary stuff lah. But do you think that it's okay to ask this, or do you
No,
feel that
I feel like especially in Singapore context now, right, it shouldn't be on the first interview. Yeah, because
maybe a
usually it's
follow-up one?
it's follow up once, or especially with bigger companies, right? You actually your pay, right, will be actually discussed with HR, not really with your bosses.
Yeah, correct. I understand. So it's like you're just going there for them to gauge you, the financial stuff, right? They will not be able to answer you. Most of the time, right, they will just say like, oh, it's around this range or like something like that lah. Is there any more questions that you got asked more often that you think that they left out in this out of these 5?
I feel like generally these are the main few. So the rest is all like very job specific or company specific.
The only one question that I really feel gets asked a lot is why did you leave your previous company?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Which they didn't really say in this portion. But I think we can touch on it quickly. Like what will you specifically say? Or like why are you looking to leave your current company?
Company, yeah. Looking for growth in my wallet.
In my house, my bank account. Oh.
Yeah, it's really very common nowadays that people change jobs quite fast. It's not like last time where
Yes.
like it's a red flag if you work in like 5 companies in the past like 5 years. A lot of companies don't really give a two shits, especially if you're just saying that, cause I keep getting headhunted, or like people keep offering more, that I had to leave, and then I left because like the like sometimes or whatever. Cause they know, then sometimes actually to a company like, wow, this person really very sought after, like, oh wow,
Yeah.
I must.
Yeah.
Correct.
Or it might come off the other way. It's like, wow, this guy's
Yeah,
not lawyer.
correct. This guy not lawyer, but it's less common now. But a lot of the like, but MNCs they understand. But the smaller companies, like especially for some of the SMEs, they really value loyalty more, of course.
I think like for me, right, the things that I would not answer is like, oh, I was too like don't say like, oh, I was too
Yeah.
stressed.
Yeah. I was very overwhelmed at work. I wasn't happy. Yeah, I wasn't happy. No shit, a lot of people are unhappy at their work, man.
Yeah, it's work. It's not play. It's not
Yeah.
work.
But I feel like I always wanted to go for one interview, right? I just wanted to be a badass, you know, like some people they be, yeah, like, why should we hire you? Because then why do you put the job ad if you don't looking to hire anybody?
But now this is the fun part. You and I, we're going to ask each other some interesting job interview questions that we've scurried around from the internet. All right, Brendan, would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
I can go first.
All right, you can go first. Please ask me a question. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, we have to get in the zone of like an interview. Okay, like how I genuinely answer it from an interview. Okay.
Yeah. So, good evening, Mr. Leong. So the question is, right, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Wow, it's like a stumping question.
Yeah.
I would be a coconut tree. Yes. Yes. Because, for instance, coconut trees, right, they're known for being very, very sturdy and reliable. They've also had a long lifespan and they'll be able to produce. So they're able to produce like valuable stuff like coconuts. And then also they're able to produce good shelter because they are wide branched trees. And then on top of that, also they can produce coconut oil. So it's something that is a very, very diverse tree. I think, and I look at myself as someone that can be a jack of all trades, someone that can be diverse. Brandon, will you ask this question or where was the origins of this question? Just curious.
No, because when I was reading the question, this is a question that I saw online. Yeah, I wasn't asked this question. Yeah. But I was asked very similar questions to this. But I felt that the interviewer was just testing your quick thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this question is really testing quick thinking as well as whether you can come up with an answer that really relates to you. Because honestly, nobody really cares. Like it can be any tree, right? But they're looking for how you relate it to yourself. Like some people that say I'm an oak tree because I'm strong and dependable. So it's like So in whatever I do, I put in effort. So it's like just a way for you to showcase your strength, but at the same time, you have to be quick enough to like think of something.
Yeah. How would you rate my answer out of 10? Let's do this for each other so we can like bounce off each other.
I thought it was very good. But I felt that I put it like 7.5, 8 upon 10. So, some people may like especially it depends what role you're applying for again. Because I felt like sometimes when you're too jack of all trades, right? It's like some people
they might want you to be good at
one
specific thing.
One thing, it's one specific thing. Yeah, correct. But of course, if you're looking for like a one fit all role, like there are a lot of jobs like that, like this, someone that can do everything.
All right, now off to me. Okay, so I saw this question that is by this company that's called Pierce, and then they often ask the candidates this same question over and over. I think it's like sort of renowned as their like question that they ask lah. Brendan, Mr. Yo, welcome to the interview. I would just like to ask you, what's your favorite board game and why?
Monopoly is actually my favorite board game.
Oh, why? Why? Mr. Yo?
Because I feel that you have to strategize with what you have, and it seems like a very simple game at first, and you play it since young, but I feel that it teaches you the how to handle your money and how to invest. And it teaches you how to invest, which property to get. For the point that you decide to buy your first property or to your second, then after it takes strategy to even as well as negotiating skills, which I feel that is very essential in this role. That you can negotiate with like other players to. Sometimes you have to negotiate with even your competitors or whoever, whatever. But end of the day, competition is fierce. Where in the end, there's only can be one winner. So that's why I love Monopoly is that the fact that everybody trades, everybody getting what you want, but then after only one winner comes out on top. And I feel that, and I believe it. One reason why I love the game is because I always win. But I don't win.
I think it was a good answer. Just the ending was a bit funny though, right?
I decided to end it funny.
Yeah. You know what? 8 out of 10. But I think that's like quite a general board game. I think that's the first board game that most people think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Like okay, so for example, right, they said that if a candidate were to choose risk, right, it highlights to them that they are methodical and strategic focus. So it'll best fit into a role that requires that sort of skill set. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sure, which is good. I think it identifies like, okay, like what skill set you're good at. Like they said, like Catan, the game Catan, right, where it's like building settlements or this, right, is good for planning ahead. So it's like they need people that know how to manage budgets or manage resources. Like these are the things that they're good at. Next up, Brendan, next question. What are you gonna ask?
I feel like this question is a very fast, very straightforward question, right? But I feel the reason why I chose this question is actually because I feel like the underlying reason that you ask is so clever. So it's like, the question is, if you had a choice between two superpowers, being invisible or flying, which would you choose?
Flying. Mainly because I feel if I were to fly, it would help me get around much easier. And because I value time. With time, I think that I'd be able to do more. And then invincibility doesn't really help me in that sense. At times, I do think that it's important to stand out. So I feel that invincibility will not value add to my life. Whereas I feel flying will be able to help me reduce time from point to point, which will help me get things done much better and more efficiently. Yeah. Okay, that's my answer.
That's good.
Thank you.
8.5, 9.
I don't know how to answer for invisible being good.
Yeah. No, the thing is, because some people, because it's a very, on the surface, right, it sounds like a very, like a fun question, but actually, Forbes, right, found it that to be, to a way to indicate leadership ability.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Because 72% of the surveyed leaders, right? So they got a lot like during this survey they got like both leaders as well as workers, right, to choose between flying and being invisible. 72% of them chose flying over being invisible because you see, right, it is asking you whether do you want to be, because flying you're in the spotlight.
Okay,
or do you prefer to be more? It's basically asking in a roundabout way, right? Do you prefer to be in a spotlight or do you prefer to be behind the scenes? Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Which I think is very, very interesting, right? To go and how to say maybe if in the role that you're applying, right, a different answer might be more valuable. Yeah,
correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Because being invisible, that there are perks to being invisible. You know, like that. I believe like some people would choose, but because both of us, I feel like we tend to be both of us. Our choice is flying as well, and we obviously prefer the saving traveling time and flight.
Yeah,
how cool it is to be able to fly.
Yeah, it's true. But when you ask me that question, right, my immediate thought was that I have no way to sort of reflect that invisibility will be something good. Like,
good, right?
Yeah, because it's something that like you cannot.
It's a lot for personal gains. Yeah. Not for company gains. It's like by being invisible, like I can do a lot of illegal shit. Yeah, I can rob a bank. I can cheat at all my exams.
All right, the last question that I'm gonna ask, interestingly enough, is you are a new addition to a crayon box. What color are you?
Oh. Blue.
Why blue?
Because I feel like that's one of the core colors. And I feel that wherever I'm at, right, I tend to want to be part of the core team.
Okay, can answer. Sorry. I have no choice. I have to be.
I have no choice. When you're speaking about colors, right? In no matter which drawing you draw, right, or colors you're coloring, you tend to require to use blue majority of the times. So that's that's where I feel that I want to be used wherever I'm at to my biggest potential.
I will give it like a 7 or 8. The cheese factor is there.
I love the cheese.
It ain't easy.
It's cheesy. Especially for certain roles, especially for a lot of the roles I apply, you need to be slightly a bit more shameless. So you need to show that you're
a bit shameless.
Okay. Yeah. You're okay being shameless. Yeah. More extroverted.
Okay, this question, right, allows the employer to see the qualities and characteristics that make your personality unique. Your answer should also represent individuality, but also should also represent your creative side. So there's a lot of cases, right, where people ask this question and then people respond with like I will be like glittery red, or I will be like clear blue or something like that. So it's like you can sort of say that you are someone that is like you think outside the box. You don't really just say like specifically all the general colors. You can also say that you're a mixture. Like people will say that, oh, I'm a mixture of this color and this color. Then you have to explain why. But if you ask me on the spot, right, to say a mixture, right, my first thought, right, was not to say that. Like, my immediate first thought was to say a color, like a consistent color. Lah. But I think if you are interested to go and find out about more interview questions, right, if you just Google search weird interview questions, right, it's like quite common occurrence nowadays, right, that almost every interview will ask you this sort of like a bit deeper level.
Out of the box questions.
Yeah, out of the box questions. But overall, I thought this was quite an interesting episode. Hopefully, as you watch this episode, you'll be able to value add to yourself as you go for different job interviews. We'll be putting that link to that sort of like the 5 different things in our description box below. Okay, that was our job interview episode.
Get out of here!
Oh, look at the time! The coffee shop is closing, but in the meantime, if you enjoyed the episode, please remember to give it a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. We have episodes that drops every Monday, but in the same time, also, if you're into football, we have the Football Kaki that drops every Wednesday. And also, if you're into fun game show formats, we have the SG Draft podcast, our big podcast here at the Chit Chatter that drops every Friday. Also, if you're into fun and interesting tournament polls, every Monday to Thursday on our Instagram, we have a weekly tournament poll that goes up that is in relation to this KopiBros episode. And this week's tournament will be Dream Companies to Work for. Hopefully, the dream company you work for one day, right, you'll be working for them. So remember, right, to head over to our Instagram every Monday to Thursday to go and vote. It's a reoccurring knockout tournament, so just go there every single day to go and see what's the results from the previous day, and also to go and vote for that day's tournament. All right. We hope everyone will have a successful job interview for the next one that you apply for. But remember,
Kopi a day keeps your troubles away.
You
Bye.